They had it all. The world's most expensive toys, the fastest cars, the biggest yachts, and penthouses high enough to look down on clouds. They weren't just wealthy, they were powerful, untouchable, godlike in status. But then, it all disappeared. This isn't just about bad business deals. This is about ambition gone too far, reputations ruined, addiction to status, luxury-fueled egos, and in some cases, outright fraud. These 10 billionaires didn't just lose money. They lost empires. They lost freedom. They lost everything. So buckle up, because what you're about to see proves that no amount of money can protect you from a fall when it's built on unstable ground.
Number 10. Ike Batista, Brazil's fallen oil king.
Once the 7th richest person in the world, Ike Batista was worth over $30 billion at his peak. He symbolized Brazil's rise on the global stage. Charismatic, flashy, and full of promises. His company, OGX, was supposed to transform Brazil into an energy powerhouse. Investors believed in his vision, or maybe they believed in the dream he was selling. But there was one problem. The oil he promised? It wasn't there. OGX drilled wells, they came up dry. Panic set in. Stock prices crashed. Billions were wiped out overnight. And Batista? He went from billionaire to bankrupt. His Ferraris were seized by police. His mansion was raided. Prosecutors charged him with corruption and insider trading. His fall was so dramatic, so cinematic, that it literally became a Netflix series. Ike Batista is a reminder that even in the world of oil and money, hype doesn't last forever. Eventually, you have to deliver.
Number 9. Alan Stanford, the fake billionaire in a $1 billion suit.
Alan Stanford looked every bit the part of a billionaire. Sharp suits, private jets, a cricket team, and an offshore bank in Antigua that gave him global influence. But behind the curtain, Stanford wasn't running a bank. He was running a lie. He orchestrated a $7 billion Ponzi scheme, conning thousands of investors who believed their money was safe. In reality, it was being funneled into luxury, Stanford's yachts, estates, and lavish lifestyle. When the scheme collapsed in 2009, it triggered a financial and emotional catastrophe for thousands. Stanford was arrested, tried, and sentenced to 110 years in prison. Every trace of his empire was stripped, down to his watch. His fall was swift, brutal, and total. Stanford proves that even billion-dollar illusions eventually fade, and when they do, they take everything with them.
Number 8. Elizabeth Holmes, the tech visionary who lied to the world.
She wore the black turtlenecks. She spoke in a deep, deliberate voice. She compared herself to Steve Jobs, and for a while, Silicon Valley believed her. The pitch was irresistible. She raised over $700 million from investors and soared to a net worth of $4.5 billion, making her the youngest self-made female billionaire. But behind closed doors, the tech didn't work, the results were unreliable, the science was fake, yet Holmes kept up the illusion, faking demos, silencing whistleblowers, and misleading regulators. When the truth came out, it wasn't just a business failure, it was a medical betrayal. She was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Her once sky-high valuation reduced to zero, her empire gone. Holmes didn't just lose her fortune, she lost her future. And her story is a chilling reminder that in tech, bold visions must be backed by real results. Number 7. Vijay Malia, the king of good times turned fugitive. He lived like royalty. Yachts, supermodels, luxury jets, and parties so extravagant they made headlines around the world. Vijay Malia was the flamboyant face of India's booming business elite. He owned Kingfisher Airlines, a Formula One team, and one of India's biggest liquor companies. He was dubbed India's Richard Branson. But behind the champagne and headlines, Malia's empire was sinking in debt. His airline collapsed under financial pressure, and he defaulted on over $1 billion in loans. Rather than face the consequences, Malia fled India for the UK. He became a fugitive, fighting extradition while Indian authorities seized his assets. His luxurious $20 million yacht? Gone. His jet? Auctioned. His reputation? Destroyed. Malia went from living the high life to living under legal surveillance. The king of good times ran out of time and money. Number 6. Buur Goodmanson, Iceland's $1 billion meltdown. He owned an English football club, he was Iceland's second richest man, and he controlled one of its largest banks. Buur Goodmanson was the pride of Iceland until 2008. That year, the global financial crisis hit, and Iceland's banking system, including Goodmanson's empire, imploded. His bank, Landsbanki, collapsed, triggering a national economic crisis. Overnight, Goodmanson was bankrupt, with $750 million in debt. His lavish lifestyle disappeared. Iceland's economy was left in shambles, and the country became a cautionary tale of what happens when small nations play with big money. Goodmanson went from boardrooms to bankruptcy court. In the end, he wasn't just a failed businessman, he became a symbol of national collapse. Number 5. Shaun Quinn, Ireland's richest man, lost it all. Shaun Quinn built a multi-billion-dollar empire from scratch. Insurance, cement, real estate. He was Ireland's richest man and hailed as a genius entrepreneur. Then he made one fatal mistake. He gambled nearly his entire fortune on Anglo-Irish Bank, heavily investing in its stocks with borrowed money. When the global crisis hit, the bank crumbled, and with it, so did Quinn's fortune. At one point, he was losing 4 million euros per day.
But it didn't end there. Authorities discovered he had hidden assets overseas to avoid paying creditors. Quinn was found in contempt of court and spent time in jail. From king of Irish business to courtroom battles and disgrace. Shaun Quinn's fall was tragic, complete, and irreversible. Number 4. Patricia Cluj, high society to hard times. Patricia Cluj was once the picture of American aristocracy. Married to billionaire John Cluj, she lived in a $100 million estate, collected rare jewels, and dined with presidents and royalty. After their divorce, she received a sizable settlement and decided to build her own empire, a luxury winery. But running a wine business is very different from sipping Cabernet in a designer dress. Her venture struggled. She took out massive loans to keep it afloat. When the economy dipped, everything collapsed. Her estate went into foreclosure, the vineyard was auctioned off, even Donald Trump, her friend, stepped in to buy the land at a deep discount. Patricia went from society pages to bankruptcy court. Her story is a sobering tale. Wealth by marriage is fleeting, and bad business is unforgiving. Number 3. Bernie Madoff, the monster behind the curtain. No list of collapsed fortunes is complete without Bernie Madoff. A respected financier, former chairman of NASDAQ, trusted by celebrities, charities, and billionaires alike, Madoff was seen as a genius, a man who always delivered results. But it was all a lie. His investment firm was the largest Ponzi scheme in history, a staggering $65 billion illusion built on fake statements and false hope. When the scheme unraveled in 2008, thousands lost everything: retirement savings, homes, futures. Madoff was arrested and sentenced to 150 years in prison. He died in custody. His family was shattered by suicides, lawsuits, and disgrace. His name became synonymous with betrayal. Number 2. Joselyn Wildenstein, the billionaire divorcee who burned through it all. Nicknamed Catwoman for her obsession with plastic surgery, Joselyn Wildenstein became infamous not just for her looks, but for the sheer volume of wealth she burned through. After divorcing billionaire art dealer Ike Batista, Joselyn received a divorce settlement worth billions. But she didn't save it. She spent it. Fast. She dropped tens of millions on real estate, fashion, and extravagant dinners. Reports claim she spent $60,000 a year just on phone bills. Her luxury lifestyle became tabloid fodder. Eventually, the money ran out. By 2018, she declared bankruptcy. Number 1. Kanye West, the fastest billionaire collapse in history.
Kanye West wasn't just a rapper, he was a brand, a cultural force, a billionaire. His Yeezy partnership with Adidas propelled his net worth to over $2 billion, making him one of the richest artists on earth. But in late 2022, it all unraveled. After a series of anti-Semitic rants, public breakdowns, and offensive interviews, Adidas cut ties. So did Balenciaga, Gap, JP Morgan Chase, and nearly every other brand connected to him. Just like that, Kanye's billionaire status vanished. So what do we learn from these billionaires gone broke? That money doesn't buy wisdom. That fame often blinds people to reality. That luxury, when taken to the extreme, becomes toxic. These billionaires weren't stupid, most were brilliant, but they flew too close to the sun and got burned. Hit that like button if this made you see luxury in a new light. Subscribe to Elite Luxuries for more shocking stories of power, fame, and downfall.